As a teacher, there are many software programs that would be great to have in your classroom. If you have a smartboard, Smart Notebook is a program that you want to have and know how to use in your classroom. Today I'm going to show you some special features and tips on how to use the Smart Notebook. I'm going to start on a clean page so you can follow along with me. The first thing I want to point out are two toolbars. You have a toolbar across the top and one along the side. Both toolbars are customizable to fit you and your classroom's needs. The first thing I want to point out is the arrow. Anytime you want to select an object, you want to go up to the top and click the arrow. You also have the pen feature at the top. By clicking on the pen, you have the option of colored lines, thick, thin, or dashed. I'm going to click blue, draw a squiggly line, do a curve. Okay. By right-clicking on it, I can click Properties and change the color, so I'm not stuck with just those colors. I can change to bright green, light blue, purple, and I can even make the line thicker or very tiny. I can make it dashed if I want in different places and customize it however I need it to match my classroom. I can also use the second pen to create fun shapes. I can take a star and draw lines or smiley faces just to be creative in the class. Kids love to draw with these features in the classroom. The eraser is also a special feature that comes in handy. It comes in a few different sizes. You can do the small if you just want to erase certain areas, the medium, or the large. Now if you want to erase a big area, you can circle it with the eraser and then click inside of the circle and it'll erase everything you have. You can also create arrows or rays, curved lines, and so much more. You can create shapes if you want to put a box around something. If you want, you can do box it in, create pentagons, you can do hearts. It only limits you as much as your imagination limits yourself. You can then add text. If you want to add text, you have many different options. You have any of these you can choose from. Pick a text. I'm going to create a second page by going to the next page. Create a text box and start typing. Science is cool. As soon as I start typing, I notice that another toolbar appears. By highlighting this, I can then change the font to whatever I want. I can make it bigger or smaller, create it bold, italics, or even underline it. Once again, I can change the color, center it, and anything else. This toolbar is also customizable to fit your needs. Some other nice features on the top toolbar are Smart Recorder, which allows you to videotape your lesson, or your desktop to allow absent students to see your lesson from the day, or allow students that were present to watch your lesson again to maybe refresh themselves on a topic they missed in class or didn't quite understand. You can also create a data table, and if you have a document viewer, you can place a document on the camera, allow it to pop up on your computer, and then edit it and draw circles or highlight specific areas in Smart Notebook as well. Screen capture is another nice feature. If you click on screen capture, it allows you to take pictures of certain documents. For example, I want a picture from this PDF file. I want to use this picture in my Smart Notebook file, so I'm going to click the screen capture button, put a square around it. It will take a picture, which then places it in my Smart Notebook. I can move it around to wherever I want. I can grab my pen, draw pictures, or highlight certain areas so my students can remember them. You also have the option to display two screens at the same time, so you can see the left and the right page. You can also create a shade over the Smart Notebook file. Creating a shade limits the students as to how much they can see so they don't know what's coming up next, and helps to keep all the students on the same topic and not allow some students to rush ahead or behind other students. In addition to the top toolbar, you also have your side toolbar. The side toolbar is once again customizable and has some nice features. By clicking on the top button, you can see all the pages in your document, allowing you to easily click back and forth between the pages. You can also add new pages and add as many as you need. And you can see everything fall into line. The next button down is a gallery. You can type or search for different pictures or interactive and multimedia features here. I'm going to search for a timer. I can click on interactive and multimedia, and a timer appears. I'm going to double click on it. It'll pop up in my smart file. And now I have a timer for my classroom. This works great if I want students to have a couple minutes at each station, or to work with a partner and then I want their attention back, or to switch partners. This is a great feature. Another feature on the toolbar is the customizable page, where you can start recording and play the pages that you want to record and play individually. Another thing on the left-hand side toolbar, you can flip the toolbar from the left side to the right side depending on what side of the board you easily stand on. You can use the arrows to switch back and forth between the pages and easily add or delete pages in your program. Now, if you want to insert more things into your presentation, such as pictures, videos, and other documents, there are a couple ways you can do that. Let's add a fresh page and insert a picture. The first picture I'm going to insert is from a file that I took in the classroom. So I'm going to go to Insert, Picture File, bring up the picture that I need in my file, and insert it in the file. Now it's too big, so I'm going to scroll down to the corner, grab the picture, slide it over, and grab it around the round circle, which allows me to then shrink it down to the size that I need. I can scroll back up and use it in my presentation however I like. This is a picture of a DNA candy model that my students recently made in class out of Twizzlers and gummy bears. Now if I want to insert a picture that I don't have a file of, I can go to the internet, go to Google Images, and we can look up smiley faces. Immediately smiley faces will come up. I can right click on something, click copy, go back to my file, and paste it into my file. Pictures are then easily added into your presentation. In addition to adding pictures, you can also insert smart response questions by clicking here. Smart response questions allow you to create questions for your class to answer, and then if you have access to smart clickers, they can respond, and then you can immediately see their results and who selected what answer, allowing you to figure out what needs to be covered next and to gauge your time and lesson as to what you're going to cover the next day, or if you need to reteach a certain topic. In addition to smart questions, you can also insert websites and videos. Once again, I'm going to create a new page, and if I want to add a website to this page, very easily I can go to my Internet Explorer and I want to add my school's website to my file. So I'm going to click on the file or the website's address, right click, click copy, go back to my file, right click, paste, and the website is now in my presentation. Now when I want to access the website from my presentation, I can merely click on the globe. And it brings me right to the school's homepage. In addition to websites, I can also insert videos. A video, it can be inserted two different ways. I can go to the YouTube website and insert the URL by copying and pasting. And I have the little globe, which allows me to bring the website up automatically. But there's also another way to insert the video in case you don't have access to the internet. If you may not have access to the internet or afraid it's going to go down during a presentation, you can download the video and save this video as a .flv. Once you click save, it'll convert it to a .lv, and you can easily incorporate it into your presentation. I've already done this, so let's take a look at the one I've already done. Go back to the page. I've already converted the video, so now I want to insert the flash video into my file. I'm going to go to Insert, Flash Video File, find the video that I want to insert, double click, and the video will now appear in my presentation. I can move it to wherever I want on the screen, or I can cut it and even add a new page and put it on the next one. Now, a nice feature about this is if the internet's not working, I can easily play the video from the presentation without having to worry about the internet crashing. I can play it, I can stop it, I can rewind and go back without having to worry about the internet, whether it's going to work or freeze or be buffering that day. Now that you've seen how to add and work Smart Notebook a little bit, you're probably wondering how you can use this in your classroom. There are a variety of ways to use this in your classroom. You can allow the students to design their own presentations, for example, on elements, presidents, or even mathematicians. By allowing the students to create their own presentations, it enables them to use technology, giving them practice on presenting, encouraging them to stand in front of a class, be confident in everything they do. This will help them prepare them for the future in other classes and the job world. Students can come to the board and solve math problems. My students love coming up to the board to solve problems on the board. They think it's awesome to use the pen, erase, and write. You can correct an English paper as a class, and more. One specific thing that I use with my class is sorted out. I have a variety of objects often scattered on the page and encourage my students to sort out the materials into different categories. This was a lesson I used on teaching them classification, how in science you can classify things by different things. I had a student come up to the board and had them sort the pictures according to what they thought was the correct way. So the student moved the blueberries over here, the flowers over here, the gold over here, and continued to move all the objects until they were sorted. He now had the flowers on the left and other objects on the right. There was no right or wrong way for this answer. I just wanted the students to figure out how to classify different objects. This was great. It brought students to the board and allowed discussion. It also enabled other students to come up and rearrange the objects into different formations, thinking of their correct way as well. It allowed us to shift them and move them multiple times without having to erase, retape, or paste pictures. Another nice feature about Smart Notebook is it allows me to group objects together and lock them into place. Once the student sorted the objects, I can easily grab my pen, highlight all the objects, click a drop-down, click Group, and group them together. Now all my flowers are grouped together. I can move them anywhere on the page and they will all stay together. If I want them locked in on this side, once again I can go back to my drop-down, click Lock, and lock in place. Now my flowers can't move. These pictures are still free moving because I have not done anything with them, but the ones on the left are locked in place. If I want to reverse it, I can unlock it and ungroup it as well to move them all individually, again, by ungrouping. Okay? Now, you're done with your project and you want to save your file, so you can go to File, click Save, or Save As, depending on which works for you. But if you want your students to see your presentation at home, they probably don't have Smart Notebooks, so you're going to want to export it as a PDF. So if you click Export It, you can click PDF, a new page will pop up. You're doing PDF setup, and you can easily click Save. Save it to wherever you want. We'll call it Classifying Matter. and now I can easily upload the PDF to my website so my students can access it at home. I'm still going to save it as a Smart file to allow me to go back, make adjustments and changes for other classes, but my students need to be able to see it as a PDF, and the only way to open Smart files is if you have the program, and since many of them don't, saving it as a PDF is your best option. So why use Smart Notebook in your classroom? There are so many different reasons to use Smart Notebook in your classroom. First and foremost, it's interactive. It gets the students and it gets you involved. Not a day goes by where I don't open my Smart Notebook, write notes, or write startup notes for my students on the board telling them what to get out and what to get ready for the day. Second, there's so many add-ons that you can continually add and add more and more technology to your classroom. You can add a Smart Slate, which allows you to control your smartboard from the back of the room, the side of the room, or the front of the room. You can sit next to that troublemaker who always seems to talk, but with you sitting next to him, you can control your board and keep him under control at the same time. You can add a document camera, allowing you to put students' documents up on the board and bring them to life. You can add clickers, engaging the students even more, having them answer questions and seeing immediate results and what they chose. Smart Notebook also launches students into the 21st century. By using Smart Notebook, they are able to improve their skills and give them an edge on everyone else. This makes them feel confident when they go out into college and the workplace. The possibilities are endless with Smart Notebook. I hope you learned something new about Smart Notebook today that you can take back and use in your classroom. Get away from some of the old habits, PowerPoint, and just writing on the board, and take a chance with Smart Notebook today.